So where does the story start with Project R32? Well, I guess the easy way of putting it is that it started when I was younger, and as many of you would have seen in my earlier video, it was basically my dream car for so many years, and I was finally able to make that dream a reality. After getting the car though, it was a matter of realizing that a lot of things weren't going to be smooth sailing. One of the first problems that I came across was the fact that I didn't even fit inside of the R32 and be able to drive it properly. Because I was a little bit too short for the way the seat position was, I couldn't slide it forward enough to be able to reach the pedals comfortably. Just a recap on these seats, well, they are the Cobra seats. They've probably been here for the last 20 years. They've got all kinds of dye related issues and stuff, but yeah, let's jump in. So you do sit super low in these, and it makes sense why, because they obviously done some dodgy work. It's horrible. I'm too short for this. I'd basically be driving the car on the tiptoes. We have no seat, as you can see. This is actually kind of interesting because we've got a lot of, I don't know if my brother's seen this yet. Someone's card. Oh look, this is for the fire extinguisher. It's got loads of glass, so I've got a feeling someone's either smashed the window to this, got some more money. Because it was a Jan Speed special car, I kind of understood that and kind of kept that in the back of my mind with the car. But there was no way that I was gonna let any of that stop me from enjoying the car properly. And that's why one of the first things I did was put a cushion behind me and took the car out for a drive. Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen. But all that aside, I knew a deep secret about this car, which was, well, confession time, my car was very beaten up. And you know, looking at these pictures, you can see the exterior condition of the car wasn't anything to brag about. So the car was a Jan Speed special car, which is why when it came out from Japan to the UK, Nissan basically gave them the car and said, here's the car, do what you need to do to get it homologated. The car then went through all the customizations that Jan Speed were going to do, and then after that it was sold on to the last previous owner, who owned the car for many years and pretty much kept it outside for most of that time. And that's why the body exterior was pretty much in a really bad state. Genuinely, I don't think anyone could realize just how good news that was for me, because not only was I able to get the car a little bit cheaper, but I was able to then not worry about all the things that I wanted to do to the car and think about losing value with it. I love modifying my cars. I love doing crazy little things, which unfortunately with that car, I haven't really had much time to do. Now I had no pressure because I could work on my 32 with complete peace of mind, knowing that if anything, I'm only adding value to this car. And also, I could enjoy it without being too precious about it. But there is only one serious regret, which was I had to sell my S2000 to be able to fully fund owning the 32, and it's one of my biggest regrets. I love the S2000 and I wish I did keep it, but it was one of those things where I had to make a call, and the 32 GTR was always my dream car, so that's the one that stuck around. Things started to get a little bit better though, because bit by bit I started to make some small little changes. Firstly, I got some Steiger seats, which I was able to kind of make fit into the car. Although I sat a lot higher now, I was able to at least move the seat forward, and I knew that everything was in a position where I could fit stock seats, because after I saw the work done by Jan Speed, I had no idea if I could really fit stock seats back into the car. Good news everyone, I've been able to get the bolt in. Oops, right, I'm gonna end up chopping my head off. That's absolutely brilliant. Oh, yes. And the good thing is they basically only cost me £20. Really good Facebook Marketplace find. Next thing was I was able to get some seats from an R33 GTR. Bye bye. Passenger seat was from a friend local to us, And the driver's seat I was able to find up north. I think it was near Newcastle, and basically had it shipped over by one of my cousins. Love the R33 seats. They're so much nicer than the R32 ones, and they sit and still feel really nice and authentic to the 32. So it was kind of a nice modern upgrade, bringing both worlds together. Right, both seats are in. The other thing was a gear knob, which was a little goodie from Japan. I think my brother originally bought it. Oh man, that feels so good. Of course, I didn't completely realize, because I bought the quick release off my brother, I didn't realize I needed to also buy the hub for the quick release as well. So yeah, a little bit of an oversight. A bit of a silly mistake is one way to put it. All in this time, I did start realizing that every time I closed my door, little shards of glass would keep coming out. So I also cleaned up that broken window from inside of that car, because honestly, genuinely, it was so much. It's pretty much a full glass window at the bottom of the door, and I didn't, because the car rattles and stuff anyway, I didn't notice it beforehand, but when I saw how much was in there, it was crazy. Another thing was, I was trying to fix the little heater control display. I thought, I have no heating right now, maybe if I fix this, it'll help me diagnose other bits and pieces. So I managed to do a little repair video of seeing the heater displays, motherboard, board, whatever you want to call it, and fixed all of that. You can see that video linked below as well. And I still had no heating after that. So I was kind of back to square one, trying to learn about things, and I realized I had most of the heating stuff kind of stripped out. The point which I'm surprised I didn't clock onto more was that the clutch slave was massively filled up with gunk. So I cleaned that out, put some new fluid in, but it was really bad. But all that being said, I was still driving the car as much as I could. It's kind of crazy because I'm looking through all of this, and at the time I didn't really think I could ever really afford a car like these, but I was looking at the BMW M8 and the 5 Series at my local dealership, and I was just loving the cars, and little did I know that a year and a half ago now, I'd end up having an F90 BMW M5. And yeah, it was like a pinch me moment whilst editing this video, looking through the archives. I was like, wow, it's crazy how things change. Something I never thought I would be able to do. And even though I love the M5, the GTR is still my baby, and I love driving the car. But at this point now, it was getting a little bit disheartening taking the car to all these nice places, and it looked so beaten up. So I started to do some work to the car, bit by bit, repairing little bits of the exterior. And I know a lot of it I'm doing with body filler and, you know, fiberglass and stuff like that. None of that bothered me. Again, back to my earlier point, because the car is in such a beaten up condition, I didn't really lose any value. And at the same time, because I've seen how long it's taken my brother's GTR build to go from first getting to SR Auto Bodies to finally coming back, it's taken 5 years. And I didn't want to spend that long owning a car that I wasn't able to drive. Especially at the moment, I really wanted to be able to just enjoy this car as much as I could, and I was happy with using some body filler and fiberglass. So this section here is going to be the big one to deal with right now. As you guys can see, basically from about here to here, it's been pushed in. And it's reason why the bumper's not sitting right and stuff. So I'm not going to go too crazy in terms of pulling the metal back out. I have a feeling to do this one properly, it's going to actually need to be kind of cut out, because you've got this curvature going on as well. So for the time being, I'm going to build up some fiberglass and put that on, shape it up, and that would be that piece kind of dealt with for now. The next stage right now, to be honest, I've put the headlight in. It looks pretty much the right shape. I just need to check a few more things over. It's actually a little bit of like a bubble. I need to make sure first, have I brought this out enough? And then I can start sanding in the curvature. So kind of crazy to look at this and see just how much extra I've already had to add on. Ideally it would have been done in metal, but I don't have the skills or time and resources to do all of that right now. Until that's done, this will get a full overhaul in the future, but not yet. It was ironic that as soon as I finally got the car to the point where I was happy with the bodywork and how it shaped up, I took it out for a drive and this happened. So everyone, this is a quick situation. It's the hottest day in the UK pretty much at the moment, and the clutch on my GTI has decided to fail. Having the car in first gear, look, got no clutch whatsoever. So the clutch slave underneath the car decided to call it a day and spewed out all of the fluid, which meant that then I had to limp the car home in first gear. But I parked it up at my brother's house in his garage because he had the space available then, and he said, look, just leave it here, you can fix it over time, because I was still using this space to work on other cars. So it kind of worked out well timing wise, because I got the coilovers and a new exhaust from SR Auto Source, and I had my I had a downpipe from my brother and a D-cat as well, so it was all basically going to fit on rail, and I had the coilovers as well to fit onto the car, so things weren't really in a bad place. So it's kind of a good time to have the car completely jacked up in the air and get all of this done at the exact same time. And I'll be honest, fitting that exhaust was a lot of hard work. And yeah, now it is time to start tackling removing some of the suspension parts. Now, actually on the 32, it seems to be something that's quite easy to do, because for example, with the rears, you just got the 2 bolts. I'm gonna loosen those and then tackle the one underneath. Do the same on the front as well. So time to get good old WD-40 out for the bottom of the car and just tackle those. But then winter came again. I was struggling with the temperatures, and I still like to drive the car every so often in winter. So I fitted on a little electrical heater, which has kind of progressed into some more heating recently as well. But this was my first step into getting some heat into the car. And along with that, I fixed my oil cooler, which was basically had a small leak. I have to get a new one of these. And I did an engine oil change. This was so tight on here. Right. That is the new oil cooler fitted, and it looks perfect. This is the 235mm from Mokel. You guys can actually have a look at the mounting that has been done. I'm gonna do this boring part now of checking over the oil, making sure nothing's dripped, and the ram air intake, which I feel like has helped. This is in essence the air duct that I am going to be fitting onto my 32. So it basically sits around here with the original front bumper. The torch on, you can see this air duct, it sits just there. Things kind of stayed like that for a little while, and in all fairness, the only real big push recently was when I managed to find this set of Advan RG2s, which is the same wheels that my dad had on his original R32 GTR all those years ago, and it meant so much to me. I really wanted to try and find those wheels for this car. And after fitting the wheels and seeing the ride height, seeing the fitment of the wheels, everything, I didn't really normally wash the car all that much before, but now I kind of felt like I wanted to, and every time I did, paint would flake off the bumpers, and it was just to the point where I just felt sad about it. So it's now where we are here, and even though I still took the car out for these epic drives, which you can see the videos for as well. Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of all the paint on the bumper, man. It's solid. Now I said to myself, I don't care what time I sleep, I'm getting the car ready. I'm gonna drive in. Even though I didn't mind it being such a beaten up looking Skyline, I really didn't want it to look like that anymore, and this is where you guys join me on the story. So far for this video, we're up to date with the build story on YouTube, but there's so much more to tell you guys. In fact, here's a little sneak peek. And this is how the bumpers are at the moment. All of that is yet to come, and I would highly recommend everyone, please consider subscribing if you would like to see this GTR build. There's also my brother's R33 build, there's the E30, there's the Honda Integra, there's the 6 Series, there's the M5. There's so much going on in this channel. I can't wait to share it with you all. So like I said, everyone, consider subscribing, enjoy the content, sit back, relax, enjoy the videos that are gonna come, and I hopefully will see you in the future. For now, everyone, peace out. See you then. Bye.